I'm going to start with how to use freeconferencing.com, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a detailed breakdown on how I use it for my podcast Reiki chat. We'll start with how to use a teleconference call. This is how you can talk with many clients at once. You can have small conference calls, 3 or 4 people, to large conference calls. You can provide continuing education with Reiki. You can answer questions at the same time with Reiki clients. That's what my Reiki chat call is about. We talk about Reiki and answer questions, and people contribute to the conversation. It's really just like a big Reiki circle that's online. We have personal conference calls. You can use it for family conference calls. It also provides free screen sharing. Here's a screenshot of what your computer screen will look like on freeconferencing.com. You'll start by setting up an account there, and it is free. I advocate for freeconferencing.com just simply because I know how to use it, and I know that it's simple, and if I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm sure there are other good programs out there too. This is just the one that I know about. You'll see up in the upper left-hand corner under Conference View, you'll see there's a dial-in number. This is the number that you give to the people who are going to call. There's a host code, and I've scratched out the number there because that's my particular account. And anyway, that would be your particular number. Then there's a participant code, so this is the number that you give to the people who are calling in. There's a playback number, etc. So I'm going to move you on to number 1, the live conference button. When this is on off, you can't see any of the phone numbers that are in the screen there. Once you turn it on, all of those numbers will show up, and you can see in number 2, it says the caller ID shows the participant numbers, although it doesn't always show their names. That just depends on whether they've signed in using their name. Then if you look at number 3, it shows active speakers, and that will show who is speaking at the time, and it'll also show their volume. And then number 4 up in the right hand corner, that shows you the total active calls. To record your calls, you're simply going to turn the recording button on. You'll also want to turn on the Q&A. See that down at the right-hand corner? It says Q&A queue. When you turn that on, that is going to mute all of your callers at one time. And that's important because you'll get so much background noise. Once you get over, say, 10 or 12 callers, there can be background noise, and so it's a very handy feature to have. Because the call is live and all the participants have been muted, you'll want the participants to have the option of letting you know that they would like to speak with you. And so they can press *6 to indicate that they would like to be unmuted. And the moderator, then, you as the moderator, just simply clicks that mute button that's in the Q&A box. That's at the bottom right-hand corner. Again, this is just a small shot of it so you could see it. The caller is now live, and everyone is able to hear them. And then you may need to remute them after they speak with you, depending on how much background noise there is. When you're ready to end the call, you simply turn off the recording and then turn off the live conference button. When you click the live conference button to off, all callers will be disconnected at once. So a pop-up window will show up and make sure that you actually want to disconnect at once. The recording is available immediately after the call. You'll want to click on the Conference History and Recordings tab to find it. It's just right up there at the top. And then once the window opens, you can write the description of the call. You can click to listen to the recording. You can download it, or you can even delete it. And then you can send a link to the recording to your clients and students, and they can either download it or listen to the recording live from the link that you send. Freeconferencing.com sends an email report to you after a call, and this is an example of the report. It shows who called and when and how long the call lasted. It's a good idea to send emails before and after your teleconference calls. The emails can be more informal for small conference calls, and then for larger conference calls, it's easiest to use email service providers. Send information in the reminders, such as the date and the time. Include the call-in information for freeconferencing.com, letting your clients and students know that they can call in either by computer or on their phone. Then decide on a topic of conversation and give the opportunity for callers to join the conversation during the call. After the call, send a follow-up email with a recording. Here's an example of my Reiki chat reminder email. I send them 1 week before the call inviting questions, and people then email me their questions, and I keep a list of them, and I answer them live online, and people can also ask their questions live online. And sometimes we just talk about Reiki and the things, and we share the different things that have taken place for us. It really is like an online Reiki circle. The reminder email, of course, has the dial-in information and the access code, and I also send a reminder email 1 hour before the call. This is an example of the follow-up email I send with the recording after the call for Reiki Chat, and you can see that they can either listen to the recording by clicking on the button right there on the email, or they can also download the recording. I also include the information about the next Reiki Chat, my personal information, contact, etc. And then also I include links to things that we've talked about during the call. Next, I want to talk about email service providers, and I use these to send multiple emails at once and also to send my monthly newsletters. So here's a detailed breakdown on how I use MailChimp for emails and newsletters. In the next video series on how to build and maintain your Reiki client relationships, Karen and I demonstrate how we use email service providers to send emails and newsletters as a way to stay in touch with our clients. Please join us on our YouTube channels each week for more. Mine is Reiki Lifestyle, and Karen's is Karen Harrison Reiki. You can also reach us on our websites. Mine is ReikiLifestyle.com, and Karen is KarenHarrison.net.